This is C.R.P.H.A, Humanitarian Advocate. Today's topic is going to be on what I found out within the week, to start with. And that is, obviously, we have in California, Darrell Steinberg endorsing support for Bernie Sanders. The two liberal dumbasses who are bad for America, bad for California. Of course, Darrell Steinberg and Gavin Newsom and Jerry Brown have always been bad for America, for the state of California. Bernie Sanders, as we all know, essentially insulted Elizabeth Warren, or Warner, whichever the case. Again, she went right to his face, and he brushed it off like it was no big thing. Right after the debate, it was all on film. The news media of both conservative, liberal, and moderate showed it the 1 week. But of course, Elizabeth Warren and the other liberal candidate in the Democratic debate are both bad for America. Joe Biden's been bad for America ever since he joined Obama, even in 2008. That was Biden used to be well respected. He's not anymore. Tom Steyer claims that he would call a state of emergency, like a national emergency for the climate change. That's that child action. He's not going to get picked within any of the nominees. Tom Steyer, Mike McClintock, or actually, no. It's not Mike McClintock. It's Mike Bloomberg. Also, is bad for America. Each one of these people are America's death and demise. Economically, in the base of defense, and in the base of human protection and defense for these whole entire citizens within the United States of America. Bernie Sanders is a chubby version of Richard Nixon with the chubby cheeks. And he's a complete idiot. A complete dunderbrain, dunce head. Essentially, I can go on. He doesn't know shit when it comes to politics. He's just shooting out words that he thinks that America wants to hear. Much like all the other ones are doing the same shit. Fucking Kamala Harris did the same shit. Of course, she dropped out like a weakling. The ever so popular, for California anyways, Gavin Newsom hasn't done shit for America, for the state of California. He's done things for San Francisco when he was mayor. Of course, that was in the 1990s, wasn't it? Of course, there was one big unpopular move that he did, and it had to do with the LGBT at the time. In support of the LGBT at the time. Many of the citizens of San Francisco didn't like his decisions and his actions. And at that point, he was a moderate Republican. And stupidly, he decided to join sides with Jerry Brown and become a socialist liberal Democrat. But then after he went into the governor seat after Jerry Brown's bullshit and illogical actions while in his term, Jerry Brown is one of the most unpopular ones now. He may not have been in the 1970s, but he is now. The ever so popular Gavin Newsom is showing the same non-popularity on his administration within the state of California because he hasn't really done anything positive. Both him and Darrell Steinberg have claimed that they were going to do something for the homeless. Both him and Darrell Steinberg have said, in different points in times, granted, just to let you know, they've mentioned that they were going to do something to get more affordable housing. They haven't. Now, Darrell Steinberg is doing the stupid thing, thinking that if I do this, the rest of California will do it. If I support Bernie Sanders will have the whole entire state of California to support him too, huh? Not! The basic fact is Darrell Steinberg is a brainless idiot. So is Gavin Newsom. So is Jerry Brown. So is Kamala Harris. So is Dianne Feinstein. So is Barbara Boxer. And so is Pelosi. Although I've said Pelosi's way beyond senile. That's true. She's wasted time, the American people's time and tax dollars on something that she thought would benefit the party, which basically is going to destroy it even more. And everybody knows the one thing I'm referring to, which is the impeachment inquiry, which the basic Senate is still deliberating right now. But the basic fact is that she thinks that the Senate's going to side with Pelosi after hearing witness testimony and statements and such. But what she doesn't realize, and I've even talked to many people that I have run into essentially, and even when we got into talking, is that she's turning the Liberal Democratic Party into the losing party in this 2020 debate. It's already been a losing party ever since Trump got into the running. For the second time, of course. The basic fact is the Liberal Democrats have not done anything positive for the American people or this country. The only thing they've done positive for is for themselves. Case in point, Obama's administrations and their actions. Illogical, sinful, unconstitutional actions. Case in point, allowing Hillary Clinton, another liberal, socialist liberal bitch, who claimed that, who also, it was said essentially, that she was going to take the Fourth Amendment out. And yet, in all logic, no president, no matter what party, they're not allowed to fuck with the Constitution in any negative way. Hillary Clinton wanted to take the Fourth Amendment out. You fuck with the Constitution, you're going to be automatically detained by the constitutional act, by the Constitution's base. If you fuck with it in any negative way, you will be automatically removed from office. You quote things like Nancy Pelosi has when she knows what she's saying is a load of shit. Although basically, with the fact that she's beyond senile, she probably doesn't realize that's what she's been claiming when it comes to the Constitution and the American people is a load of shit. Because all she cares about is her party and herself. She doesn't give a damn about the American people or what happens to the American people or this country. She's the one that wanted a WW3, which basically would completely terrorize everybody in the U.S. Thereby, also, that means the liberal Democrats have gone completely off their more than off their fucking rocker. Including with the fact that right when it comes to when the Democratic debate started, the thing that they put forth is oh, we're about socialism. We're gonna campaign for socialism. Essentially, they didn't say it in those words, but basically they mentioned socialism. They mentioned the very fucking action and political strategy that the fucking Hitler regime had during and before WW2, which consisted of concentration camps for those who did not agree with Hitler's and his regime's actions and policies and rules and whatnot else. Then they would go into the concentration camps and be held there for life, if at all, or at least until they decide to abide by the rules and regulations and what have you. And yet, the one thing is also in the base of socialism, the liberal Democrats would be able to change their fucking minds at any given point, whenever they felt comfortable and whenever they felt it would benefit them, and where it would not benefit the American people. Most of all, it would not benefit the American people. We'd be repeating what happened in fucking Germany, England, and Germany in the 1940s and 30s and what have you. We'd be repeating the same shit if we allowed the liberal Democrats to have power in the White House. But the only difference is it would be happening to everybody in the U.S., not just a selected few or a selected number in general. Mike Bloomberg is the pinnacle, still the pinnacle of socialism. He is Nancy Pelosi's first lapdog. Tom Steyer is her last lapdog. Elizabeth Warren is her minion. Barbara Boxer, Dianne Feinstein is Pelosi's minions. The ever so popular Kamala Harris is her minion. Bernie Sanders, Tom Steyer again, and also Joe Biden. Darrell Steinberg. Gavin Newsom, Jerry Brown, the lapdogs of Nancy Pelosi. They answer to her, obviously. The senile, mentally unstable little fucking politician. who claims to care about America and claims to be doing things for America and the American people, and thinks that she knows what the American people want when she really has no fucking clue, up here especially. In reality, the fucking bitch doesn't give a damn about the American people and this country. So Nancy Pelosi is shooting out loads of cow shit. Every time she speaks, anything when it comes to the American people and thinking that she's doing what's beneficial, it's shooting out cow shit. Because she's not really up here, for one. She's only doing things that benefit her and her alone next to the party. Or what she feels that the party would accept and go along with and side with her on. In the long run, it would be destroying the United States of America from what was what the forefathers built it and put it together as, and which would be strong as it has been off and on over the centuries after our forefathers, and the way it is now, being strong and more than well defended, thanks to Donald J. Trump. And it was even well defended and strong, but not as strong as it is now with Reagan, Ronald Reagan, that is, George H.W. Bush Sr., George W. Bush Jr. The basic fact is, everybody saw the fact that in the 1980s, that the strength of America was totally there was no ignoring of the whole thing. The basic fact is, Reagan showed America's power and strength then, and then it carried on with George H.W. Bush, the same thing, but it was kind of minimal because it really wasn't really that big of a thing. Although in a way, maybe in some respect, it may have been to a point, maybe. But when it came to 9/11, George W. Bush Jr. showed some major strength with America's defense and military power, keeping this country well defended and protected, and the American people well defended and protected. Donald J. Trump is doing the same thing, but even more strategical, if you will, and where he's made it to where the military and our defense is much stronger than it's ever been before. Along with the fact that we have a stronger economy than we did even with those three presidents, even the ones before. We have a stronger economy even after Obama. We had the weak economy, the kind of wavy economy, was with Jimmy Carter, another one of Pelosi's senior lapdogs. Obama is another one of Pelosi's lapdogs. Even while he was in the White House, he was her lapdog. Michelle Obama was Pelosi's minion. Still is. Now, if you were to look on my on the front cover of this video, you will see a metal skeleton with an American flag, showing on it in a brown sort of a gold effect or image or whatnot, right? Like a reflection of sorts. The basic fact is that that's a sign saying the liberal Democrats are America's death, the American people's death and demise. Our futures and American positive, strong American way of life would be dead and gone. With the liberal Democrats, the socialist liberal Democrats in power. Thereby, I'm a strong supporter in getting Gavin Newsom out of office because he hasn't done anything positive for California. I'm a strong opponent to get people to put it out there that people need to form something to where we can get Darrell Steinberg out of office. We need to do the same thing to get Dianne Feinstein out of office. We need to do the same thing to get Barbara Boxer out of California and out of office. We need to get every fucking liberal idiot out of office in the state of California and abroad. We need to get every liberal Democrat out of office, even in Washington, D.C. Starting with Nancy Pelosi. They are the more than pinnacle death to the United States of America and the American way of life, the positive American way of life, and the positive future that this country deserves. And the American people deserve a positive, strong future. Our youth deserves a positive, strong future. I'm an advocate of education as well. And are the people who are youth and adults that are disabled, even the ones that came back from war that are disabled, they deserve a better future. The person you saw right behind me there, he deserves a better future. The one that you saw walk by there, every American citizen, legal American citizen, not the ones that the liberals made legal, even though it was not by constitutional standards and process and whatnot, and logistics essentially, logic essentially. Every legal American citizen deserves a better future. Every legal youth member, every one of our youths in the United States deserve a better future. I'm not saying the ones that are illegal don't deserve a better future. I'm not saying that at all. But the basic fact is they can do something by coming into this country legally without going across the damn border on that part. There's ways they can do with it. There's ways the people who have been coming across the border illegally to make it more legal, and it's inexpensive. It may take time. Granted, yes, things do take time anyway. There's no escaping that. Things do take time, but the basic fact is you need to be willing to, or don't come across the damn fucking border. Because when people come across the border illegally, you're not making it easy economically for any state and its citizens. Its legal citizens. There's ways, again, to come into this country legally, and it's inexpensive. It may seem like a long process, but things, like I said, do fucking take time. It doesn't matter what the fuck you do. It doesn't matter what the fuck it is either. I support every one of Heavenly Father's children, but the basic fact is I go by the Constitution more than 100%. I'm standing right beside the Constitution and Donald J. Trump, more than 100%. Way beyond 100%, actually. Donald J. Trump has made this country stronger than it's ever been before. The economic base has been stronger than it's ever been before. The stock market, yeah, it's going to be wavy, but hey, there's ways that he made it where things are still going to be positive and strong and better for the American people. And I know that Donald J. Trump is doing what he knows to be right for not only his children, educationally, but also the American people's children. Being the youth of America, essentially, as they call it. Basic fact is the liberals know this and they can see this plainly and clearly, but they want to pretend like it's not really happening. Like, oh, he's not really doing this. It's being done by another way or another, strategy, whatever. It can't be really happening. The basic fact is the liberals don't want to accept, the socialist, liberal, Democrats don't want to accept the fucking fact that the American people are getting things positively done for them and benefit to them, to the American people, by Donald Trump and his administration. They don't like the fucking fact because they know they were not able to do it in each term that their part of their candidates in their party weren't able to fucking do a damn thing positive either. Like, so let's put it this way: in the 1970s, Jimmy Carter had the gas prices go up so ever slightly and slowly and almost practically unnoticeable. Even with the media mentioning gas prices going up. Did he do anything to stop it? He may have tried to, but his strategies flopped out. If at all, if he really truly did. Only history knows for in actuality if he actually tried to stop the gas prices from increasing, where it got to the points to where people were not able to afford to put gas in their vehicles. Even when it came to doing the day-to-day things, necessary things to survive, like grocery shop, work, get employment, go to work and back, and drive your kids to school, and pick them up from school, and various other things, Which basically made it even harder for businesses now, didn't it? When it came to their operation for deliveries and such like that, right? To bring the items to the stores, to restock the shelving and various other things, right? Even back then. So you can't. So like I said, only history will truly know and truly tell us if he really tried to do something, or if he just let it happen. I can easily say, without malice, of course, and without hatred, of course, that Jimmy Carter did try to do something. But at the same time, I could easily say, no, he didn't do shit. He just let it happen. Either way, I could be right or wrong. I'm going to let history decide that and say that. But the basic fact is that even with the saying that liberals can try to rewrite history in the history books, no. Truth of history is what people will mostly want, not the falsification bullshit written by the liberal democratic idiots, and try to make it sound so fucking true, even in the educational aspects, when it's a load of shit. The basic fact is, I used to vote for Democrats, of course, starting with Bill Clinton. Clinton, essentially. At the time, it was my first time in ever voting in my lifetime, of course. I could have easily voted for George H.W. Bush, but at the time I was new at the voting thing, you know. So basically, I saw that I kind of put in perspective that that Bill Clinton was truly about the jobs and getting more jobs in this country and whatnot else. But the only thing is, the one thing he did not say, he didn't put in perspective either, that the fucking fact that he would be having to possibly close down our military bases. And possibly, and I think it was naval bases too. I think, I'm not sure, but I know it was a number of our bases in the U.S. Just so that can happen. In hindsight, you could also say it would have made us even weaker, and a little less than in the strength of defense. But if I had known that, just like, for example, if I were to go back in time and see his actions, or actually I would say at the time, forward in time at the time, and see his actions, I would have said, no, don't do that. I'm not gonna vote for him. I'm gonna vote for, George H.W. Bush. But of course, who's to say with that as well if the jobs situation would have happened at all? Where there'd be more jobs put into his plan. Or if it was really acclimated into his plan. As much as it was spoken of by Bill Clinton. But I can tell you, I'm more than glad I'm on the side of the conservative Republicans. That's my personal choice, my God-given right, my constitutional right on top of that. I don't care if you say, oh, you made the wrong choice. And you know what? There's been many people who hated Reagan. There's been many people who liked Reagan. More people that liked Reagan, really. Like, there's more people that like Trump. And that support Trump. And there's not too many people that don't like him. And I've said many times, he said in his campaign speech after he was clearly chosen in the 2016 election, he said he would fucking work for those who... He didn't say the word fucking, but anyways, he said he would work and support those and basically for those who supported him and those who did not. Those who voted for him and those who did not. That's a true president right there. That's a true upstanding American. The only thing is that Obama never said that. Jimmy Carter never said that. No liberal idiot said that. They were just glad that they got chosen, whoever the fuck voted for them, right? They didn't care. As long as they got what they wanted to get, which was a seat in the Oval Office. Able to completely, gradually tear this country apart. Like Obama did. Ever so gradually. In 2 of his terms. Did more things beneficial for the Liberal Party than anything. And way more than way less for the American people in this country. Practically nil for the American people in this country and our youth. And yet, what prettied it up was Michelle Obama putting a garden and letting the school children in D.C. to start with join her in growing plant and fruits and vegetables. Like that mattered to anybody? Like that made anything better? No, it didn't. It didn't show anything positive except for that she was being a mother. She was showing her motherly instincts, her motherly attributes, what have you. That's it. That was it. And yet the liberal media was acting, oh, the liberal Democrats are all about our youth. The liberal Democrats are all about the American people. Oh, that's a load of shit. The basic fact is the liberal Democrats are only about themselves and their party. I don't care what type of fucking sideshow they show, or what side of them that they want to show the American people. The basic fact is, when Obama was in office, the 2 things that he allowed Michelle Obama do was put political power against the Mars Company when it came to the king size Snickers, which was the most illogical, stupid move ever. Involving herself into that, which was none of her damn business. She had no constitutional right to do that, even by using presidential power. The king size Snickers were good when it was one full fucking big bar. Now, when you get the king size Snickers, you get them like moderate size, half and half, like a fucking Twix. One mid-sized bar here and one mid-sized bar here, and one king-size wrapping. Stupid. Then, she used political presidential power, against Olive Garden. By saying, don't let the child decide what they want to eat off the menu. Have the parents decide for them. As if the child doesn't have a constitutional right to say what they want, as long as it's okay with the parents. With the parents saying, yeah, you can order whatever you want on the menu that you like. She didn't take that into consideration. Michelle Obama is a fucking socialist bitch. She had no right to do that against Olive Garden for any given reason. That doesn't show motherly. That doesn't show anything in the base of, oh, I'm a caring parent. I can do this because my husband's the president in the White House right now. I can do this to the American people because he will let me, and the American people will agree with me. They'll side with my choice even though it's against the Constitution. And yes, it is against the Constitution when you do that type of shit. That's the base of socialism, deciding for the American people when they can make choices of their own and for their own. children as well, and for themselves especially. That's a base of government political control over the American people's rights and freedoms. And I will not stand for that. No true American will stand for that shit. No true American that side is 100% behind the Constitution of this country. Put together by our forefathers. Michelle Obama showed the exact fucking power by power and the actual aspects of socialism. To put it plainly, to start with. The one thing is that the weak Olive Garden corporate office allowed it to happen. Instead of going by the constitutional aspects of things, they let it happen. It could be the fact that they were afraid that Olive Garden was afraid that in case if they needed anything, they'd be able to depend upon the president at the time. So in order to get that, they had to kiss her ass. Olive Garden is a weak company on that perspective. Olive Garden is not about the Constitution, obviously. If they allowed that shit to happen. Olive Garden should be out of the U.S. if they continue to allow that to happen. I'm a strong opponent for keeping businesses in the United States, that's for sure, but when they do that, they might as well either close up and get the fuck out. When they allow that to happen, where Michelle Obama says, you should do this, and make sure the child doesn't choose what they want to eat. Let the parents decide for them. The whole base of a parent, you need to give the child confidence and self-assurance that they can make their own decisions. Especially when it comes to their own choices. As they grow. You take that away for any given reason. Starting from the aspect of choosing what they want to eat instead of the parents deciding what they want the child to eat. Yet, no, it's okay to have the parents decide, but the one thing is the child can choose something that's just as healthy, just as nutritious, and just as stomach filling. Where they'd wouldn't be able to eat anymore, but maybe save for the rest for lunch or something. Depending on the portion. The basic fact is, children are not stupid, man. The basic fact is also, children have a God-given right to say what they want to say, what they want to eat. Of course, it's up to the parents, but the one thing is that if the parents see that the damn portions of food is not gonna harm the child in any given fucking way, then have at it. The child can eat that particular type of entree or dish. Michelle Obama overstepped her boundaries by doing that, especially with this Mars company. Nobody in office is allowed to do that. Nobody in any political office is allowed to do that. Not even Nancy Pelosi herself is allowed to do that. Nobody in a political state government office is allowed to do that. Anybody who goes against the Constitution and the American way of life, and also the American people's rights and freedoms, is going against the Constitution and is no true politician, no true American, and they're a complete fucking brain dead, just like fucking Pelosi. And they don't deserve to be in office. Mike McClintock or Bloomberg. Yeah, Mike Bloomberg doesn't deserve to be in office. Joe Biden never deserved to be in office if he was going to side with Obama like he did. Tom Steyer is a complete fucking joke on top of that. He doesn't deserve to be in office. He doesn't know the first thing of being a president or how to run anything, even a country for that matter. He'd be just grasping at straws, and we can't have that. The weakest link, Tom Steyer, Mike Bloomberg, Elizabeth Warren, or Warner. The other liberal candidate is also a weak link. Bernie Sanders is the weak link, even though he's trying to act all tough and serious. Every fucking campaign that they do, and every fucking rally that he has, he acts like he means business. He's a fucking joke. He's a weak link too. I'll tell it to his face too if I had to. I'll tell it to every one of their faces if I had to. They're the weak link. So is Pelosi. She's a senile weak link. So each and every one of those liberal Democratic candidates, including Pelosi, and including Biden, of course, one of the candidates, and of course, Gavin Newsom, the weak link. Though each and every liberal Democrat, including Darrell Steinberg, the weak link as well, are death to America. Seriously. They are the demise of America. Their strategies and shit is completely going to tear America down. It's not going to build it up in any positive way. And socialism is not positive. The liberal Democrats are the demise to America and our rights and our freedoms in this country. The liberal Democrats don't give a damn. They're tired. They're tired of doing things that benefit the American people in this country because they don't feel that they're getting enough to benefit them. And yet, they should know not to worry about things to benefit them first off before it benefits anybody else. If you do things to help people, that helps them to where they can benefit themselves. Then eventually it goes on to the person that did the helping, didn't it? Isn't it? Thereby, you're benefited along the way. Do the liberal Democrats realize this? No. Are they even cognizant or well more than self-aware of this? No. Do they care to take the fucking time to realize it? Obviously not. But they think that the American people are so brain dead that they'll believe anything. And side with them and with their bullshit policies and shit like that. And think that they're the fucking fresh air that they ever needed. Type of shit. When really the liberal Democrats have become the smog that's hanging over L.A. and the Hollywood Hills with a Hollywood sign on it. They're way worse than that, in fact. They would be the destruction to this planet and humanity itself. Their actions and policies would be completely tearing down this country ever so gradually or exponentially. They don't know the first thing what it takes to be a positive, caring, loving American president. Because they think that the only way to be a the liberal socialist Democrat is to go towards the base of going against the Constitution. Siding with a stronger power that is deciding for them. But yet that top power that's unforeseen it would be the top brass of what happens and would decide what happens. And there's like a secondary and a third person in that area where they hear from the top brass. The top brass tells the second in command and third in command, and that third or fourth person goes over and tells the Liberal Democratic Party is what the laws are going to be for the American people in this country, and what the decision is when it comes into it. That's the whole base of liberal fucking socialist bullshit. As I've said before, the liberal Democrats have gotten sick and tired of doing things positive and beneficial for the American people in this country and our youth. They want things to be done beneficial for them. They don't want to ever do things that are truly logically beneficial and positively beneficial for the American people and our youth in this country. The basic fact is that the Liberal Democrats have gone to the points of Satan, if you want to put it spiritually. So, Bernie Sanders, death is the demise and death to this country and our American way of life. And also, he is the death to this whole entire planet. Every liberal candidate on the panel, including Tom Steyer, Mike Bloomberg, Nancy Pelosi, Darrell Steinberg, Gavin Newsom, Jerry Brown, Obama, Elizabeth Warner, Joe Biden, every other liberal Democrat, even that was on the panel in the debate, and probably is from time to time on the panel in the debate. They are the death and demise of the true positive American way of life. They don't know how. They don't care what happens to the American people and this country and our youth. They can give a first flying fuck about that. All they care about is getting things for themselves and their party. That's it. As a spiritual person as I am, that is a very sad thing. Those human beings, if you really want to call them human beings, of course, are going to that more than extent. And they don't care how they get to it. But they think, and along the way they think that the American people are so fucking brain dead that they'll believe anything. And that they'll follow anything that comes down their way that they agree with. Or basically to the points where they think that the American people don't know what the fuck they really want. So they'll just shoot out every little thing and see how many people agree with it and follow it. As if the American people don't have a mind of their own. I believe every American person has a mind of their own. They can make the right choice for themselves as well as everybody else can do the same damn thing. Heavenly Father and our Savior made it more than an actuality and possibility for us to make our own choices. And our own decisions for ourselves and our family members. And He's there to help us make sure it's the right one. Not to where we are off our rocker like Nancy Pelosi is off her fucking rocker. She needs to be more than medicated, guaranteed, though. And she needs to be out of office, too, by the way. Nancy Pelosi needs to be out of office fast. So I'm putting it out there, Nancy Pelosi be pulled out of her office and out of her seat. Post haste. I know many people may think that I'm just shooting things out there just to say shit. No, I don't do that. I take my time before I do any video of C.R.P.H.A. Much like I did with the N.C.H.A. when I first started advocating. But now with it being C.R.P.H.A., I still do the same thing. Make sure the things I'm about to say are more than accurate, more than logical, more than factual. And yes, I know every time I say something new happens, or something happens to where they try to make it seem like they're really not that way. Then like later on when they figure they convinced everybody, then they can repeat the same shit that they did before. If Gavin Newsom ever wanted to talk with me, I'm okay with it. I'll just tell him straight out what I thought, what I think, and how I feel, and whatnot else, and what I know. To be an actuality and truth and factual. Whether he agrees with me or not, I don't care. What I'm concerned about is not only what's best for me, but before all that, as I've been this way for a long time actually. Is that as an advocate, my concern is our the American people and our future, our true, strong, positive American way of life, our freedoms, our rights, and also to where we don't get treated like we don't know shit when we know a lot more than they give us credit for, apparently. We know more than the liberal Democrats think that we know. We have a lot more sense than the liberal Democrats give us credit for, especially in their own minds. They want to act like we don't know shit when we can learn things as we go, as we live our lives, right? Then basically they have no confidence and no positive self-assurance in us, American people. The same thing would go along with our youth. They don't have any confidence and self-assurance and belief in our youth. They don't have any true belief in us, American people, either. The politicians are only thinking about, I can convince the people to do this. I can convince the people to do that. I can convince the people this is the right thing to do. Or that, this and that and the other. When really it's not. Now that's a lot to think. Now what I've said is a lot to think about, though, isn't it? And I'll tell you the reason why is because I care about this country. I care about the American people, and I care about our youth and our positive future. I'm a strong opponent for the very future what Gene Roddenberry himself portrayed on Star Trek, the original, The Next Generation, and on Voyager, DS9, and the movies, of course. The technological advances we can get, the basic way of life we can build for ourselves and our children, and for this country, where everybody is finally united into as an agreed, not really participant, really, in that sense, where everybody is there to help each other and support each other instead of going against each other. That is one of many. Plus, there's a lot more to it that Roddenberry put out on his Star Trek series, on each and every one of them, possibly outside of Star Trek Discovery. Of course, now everybody's probably going by Star Trek Enterprise, then the original series, then the Next Generation, then DS9, then Voyager, right? Or in between, somewhere in that area, Voyager, right? That's fine. Rick Berman was the one that put Enterprise together in collaboration and association with Star Trek, which is originally Gene Roddenberry's creation. That's fine. The basic fact is that the whole base of what this country can be is strong and positive. What Roddenberry shows, and the liberal Democrats don't want that. They want that for them, but they don't want that for us. The socialist liberal Democrats only want positive things to happen for them. They don't want anything positive to happen for us, American people, or this country. They can give a flying fucking hell what happens to us, our youth, and this country. Even in that regard and perspective and what have you else. So this election, I pray and hope that every one of you take heed to what I say here. And believe me, I'm going to say there might be more later on within the year that I will say. But I pray that you will side with me. You don't have to. I'm not going to force you like the liberal Democrats would try to force you in the base of socialism. I don't believe in socialism. I will never believe in socialism. Socialism, like I said, is a Hitler regime version, but the liberal Democrats want it to happen in the US of A. If you read your history books, you'll see, and if you watch documentaries, you'll see what truly happened in the Hitler regime. And to the very innocent people, even those in concentration camps, that were forcibly put and forcibly to do what they were told, as if they were small children, and like as if they had no rights. No choice of their own. That's exactly what the liberal Democrats want of us. And I'm not going to stand for it. They will deny it all they want. But what I say is an actuality. This is C.R.P.H.A. Humanitarian Advocate. Vote Trump for 2020 for President of the United States. I pray and hope that you take what I say to be truthful, factual, and honest, because I would never lie to you. I care about our youth. I care about the American people and our future, and we can build ourselves to be even better than we are even now. I'm not saying we are not better now with the way the strong economy is. We need a strong economy. We need a strong military defense, like we do have now, thanks to Donald J. Trump. And I will always support and salute our military, Army, Navy, Marine, Air Force. And I will always be 100% behind the Constitution and Donald J. Trump. And I will always be a strong advocate as well for our youth's education. And I believe that we can do better in the sense of what Roddenberry shows on his TV series of Star Trek from the original to the next generation, even if it starts from where the Star Trek Enterprise started from, which basically is supposed to be before the original series of Kirk and Spock, and of course before Captain Pike. But still, though that's a strong positive vision of the future. We can get to it. If we have the liberal Democrats in office, it will take a hell of a lot longer. if we have the Liberal Democrats in office at any given point of our lifetime, or any one of our children's lifetime, and their children's lifetime, and their children's lifetime, and the children's children's lifetime, it will take much fucking longer. Think about that. This is C.R.P.H.A, Humanitarian Advocate. I have been saluting our troops that are in service and our veterans. And Donald J. Trump. Have a good day. May Heavenly Father bless you all. And also, if you have any questions, please be sure to ask them, or if you want to say anything to me in the comment section below. Or we can talk on Facebook Messenger, Instagram Messenger, or also on Facebook of C.R.P.H.A, Humanitarian Advocate page. Have a good day. And may Heavenly Father bless you all.